Hello.
Hi, nice shirt to you too.
Thank you. Simpsons?
I think I have that shirt. I was loving this just like slide him over. I always feel like me interrogated. Like,
it's very intimidating. Well, congratulations on the reaction to the pilot so far. Everyone's been very, very happy with it. We were all excited to see it.
Aw, thanks.
So, beyond the pilot, what is exciting for you for the next step for this character?
I think, what's exciting for us is, on Arrow, when we first meet Oliver, he's as much the Green Arrow as he'll ever be, expertise-wise. That show is really a study about morality and how somebody lost their humanity and can they get it back. But for Barry, he's just gotten these powers. And, with that comes all these challenges, and it's so different, to write because he's, in the second episode he gets his ass kicked, and he comes up with a giant moral quandary in some of the earlier episodes, and a lot of the early episodes are about trust with his teammates, and is he doing the right thing by running around. So story-wise, it's a whole different type of superhero story than we've been telling on Arrow, and just seeing the visual effects like in the previs that we get, it's just insane. Like, as big as the pilot is, like episode 3 is bigger than episode 1, and episode 4 is bigger than 3 and 1. And so, we're excited.
It seems like you're not holding back from the comic bookiness of the show, as where Arrow, I think, pulled back a little bit at first and then kind of unleashed it. Is that going to be an issue with the budget going forward? Like, how do you keep that up?
We'll find out. Yeah. I think
haven't run out of money yet.
Yeah, not yet. I think with Arrow, obviously, it's funny. It was always our intention, and that's why, like, even in the pilot, one of the first images you saw was the Deathstroke mask, and whereas that might have flown over some people's heads. For us, it was important to let the fans know that, like, we're going to do this. We're going to do a comic book show. And I think because of the success of Arrow and the amazing trust that Warner Brothers and the CW has put in us, and I also think even since Arrow, even more so, comic book movies have exploded. That there's less of a reticence to sort of embrace that. So for right now, we're really going for it. I think that you can't just love the Flash. The Flash is a world, and it has families and villains and powers and time travel, and it's everything. So just having a guy who runs fast, it wouldn't be the Flash without all of those other things. So we're putting them all in.
I don't think I have one. Sorry.
Okay.
Are there particular bullet points or storylines that you want to get to on The Flash that are like sort of dream storylines potentially for you?
Well, there's an Easter egg in the pilot that we would love to, that we didn't throw in there willy-nilly.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Crisis on Infinite Earths, that seems like such a
that
big...
one too. That one too. The Grodd cage was, sort of our, hopefully Dawn of the Planet of the Apes has been doing our R&D for us. But yeah, there are, I think with the Flash, there's some, because of just the structure of the comic books and time travel and parallel universes and all of those other things, there's an opportunity to do far more sci-fi kinds of things than we would ever imagine doing on Arrow. But that's fun for us, we're very hyper-conscious, not just for the audience, but also for ourselves, that we're not giving you 2 hours of the same thing every week, and that the two shows, as much similarities as they have, and they take place in the same world, that there are differences, and they are different shows, and they can have different energies and different patterns and different paradigms, so that, hopefully you guys will be interested in both shows as opposed to, all right, I get it. on Tuesday night, I don't need to watch it on Wednesday.
Since you've said now that you've included things for a reason, especially they're not just Easter eggs, any chance Barry might have a new friend in Hal Jordan?
Who knows?
Someday.
Maybe someday. I think that's it's always interesting about those things. You always want the star of your show to be the coolest hero. So you don't even want anybody who creates sort of a tie. Right now having Arrow and Flash, we're pretty happy with those being the sort of center of both shows, and there are the other characters like Huntress and Black Canary and Firestorm and Arsenal that were and Katana that we're sort of more excited about in a way than that. It was actually Jeff's idea to put Ferris Air in the pilot, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully there'll be many seasons and many opportunities, and some of that's also that those decisions get made far above my head.
Do you see the Flash as a separate thing from the movieverse potentially, or are you of one? Or
no, they're the movies are their own thing, and we're our own thing, and and look, I can't stop cavelling about the Wonder Woman picture today. I mean, I'm as excited for it as anybody, but and obviously who knows what will happen in the future and whatnot, but right now we're just doing our thing and they're doing their thing, and we're sort of happy about that it's hard enough to sort of wrangle two shows, if you had to have those considerations, also, but
Are there restrictions on storylines because the movieverse is thinking about tackling them, or?
No, we haven't. It's one of the it's one of the big advantages to Jeff Johns being one of my closest friends, but also Jeff being, one of the creators of the Flash TV show, and also him being an executive producer on the movie. I mean, we've just been, there's never, everybody knows what everybody's doing, so there's never been a thing where we've said, "Hey, can we do this?" And truth be told, there's very few sort of asks that we've asked that we haven't gotten. There's really only one sort of big character that we asked for in Arrow, where we were just told that they've got something else in development. But I think if you're watching Arrow and Flash, it's between the Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, it's certainly doesn't feel to us, and I hope it doesn't feel like people out there that well, geez, these guys are getting stymied left and right, that they can't bring on these characters, and and then this year adding Ray Palmer and the Atom and Katana, we don't. We feel like every year we've upped the ante and increased the number of DC characters. So
Wentworth Miller is going to be Captain Cold.
Yes.
So possibly, are you planning maybe some Rogues action going on?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not the Flash without the Rogues.
Absolutely.
And one of the themes of that episode is whether to go alone or whether it's better to have a team. And it's an episode where Barry and Team Flash are sort of having their first struggle at working together and having trust issues, and they come together to save the day, but ironically they teach Captain Cold that sometimes it might be better to have some partners. So it's definitely that's something that hopefully in success we can roll out, right next to Spider-Man and Batman, Flash has hands down the best villains, and certainly the villains with the most psychological complexity to them. I mean, you could do a TV show about the Rogues that I think that there's enough depth and interest and oddly honor amongst those characters that I think people would watch that show. So hopefully in success, as we slowly roll these characters into our show, that there's the opportunity for them to like on Buffy, how Spike or Drusilla or any of those characters who were villains, and yet you were rooting for them just as much as the heroes.
I mean, speaking of Buffy and Angel, I mean, that seems like the biggest sort of crossover show between Buffy and Angel. Did that type of shows did you try to emulate that?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about that a lot because I was a fan of both shows, and also Doctor Who and Torchlight and Sarah Jane Adventures, and we always talk, there's the giant crossover where Buffy and Angel would be on the same episode, but then there were also just little crossovers that I loved, on Angel when when Angel became jealous and he heard that there was a Slayer in town, and he picked up the phone and he called Dawn and he said, "Hey, how are you? Is your sister there?" "Oh, she is great." And he hung up and he went, "Damn, it's the other one." And it was just even that little thing that like, oh right, Angel knows Dawn and he could do that, and like I almost like love those even more, because I feel like for the fans who are watching both shows, it's that's almost in a way more of a love letter than sort of both casts coming together. So, as much as, we have Felicity coming over to episode 4 and we're having this crossover event in 8, there will be those little ones along the way that I think, for people who are watching both shows will really jazz them.
We'll have you step out when you're ready.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you had a question. Didn't you?
Actually, you stole it. It was
Oh, okay.
crossover, so.
You jerk. God. I'm sorry I answered you.